Okay, big release this week, Die Hard 4.0.
So, when people revise franchises, it generally is a sort of an indication that their acting career is sort of on the way. You know, you think of Schwarzenegger doing Terminator 3 because things going so well, or what's his name, Sylvester Stallone, who's now done, well, we're not allowed to call it Rocky 5, Rocky 6, it's actually Rocky Balboa, and he's about to make Rambo 4, but we're not allowed to call it that, it's John Rambo. However, Bruce Willis going back to the Die Hard franchise, I mean, I like Die Hard. You saw the other Die Hard movie, the first Die Hard movie, just recently on television.
It's very good.
Really holds up well, but here's the beauty of it. It is Cowboys and Indians in the Towering Inferno. There's a single location, he's being the cowboy, you know, the Alan Rickman, Where Are My Detonators character is being in, that's how it works out. It's perfectly sort of stripped down. The next one, let's do it on an aeroplane. The next one, okay, let's confine it to New York City. Fourth one is, let's do pretty much the whole of the Eastern Seaboard. This time, however, it's Die Hard 4.0, and that title tells you that it's computer literate. Hey, guys, you know what? The 21st century computers are really it. I'm sort of thinking, Hackers came out in 1995, so that means at least 12 years too late on the aren't computers hip and down with the kids thing. But the plot is, this time, the whole of the Eastern Seaboard was being brought down by cyber terrorists who have hacked into the mainframe on, I have to say, the fastest connected internet provider I've ever seen in my... I mean, I go onto mine, and it's like...
You haven't got connected in the New Forest, have you?
No, well, we haven't got broadband, but even on, you know, I mean, I hear that broadband is very fast, but it's nothing like as fast as this guy doing it. And so, usual sort of standoff, mad cyber terrorist. Somebody just said Q clip in my head, and yes, and Q clip.
You know, John, I feel like we've gotten off on the wrong foot. And because of that, you think I'm the bad guy. Nothing could be further from the truth. I'm the good guy here.
It's in the trailer of Capitol Building getting blown up, which kind of looks like the White House getting blown up in Independence Day. There's the bit when they shut down a whole city by messing with the traffic lights, which is kind of from the Italian Job. There's also a key scene in which there's a helicopter, right? And Bruce Willis drives a car, and the car goes up a ramp, and the car hits the helicopter. Everyone's saying this is the great big, you know, money shot, fantastic, wonderful stunt. Well, there's a movie in the 1990s called Stone Cold with Brian Bosworth, who was an American footballer, lunk-headed American footballer with sort of, you know, short hair and a sort of horrible cat flap thing at the back. And he drove a motorbike out of a window at a helicopter in a Craig Baxley movie back in the 1990s, so that's not original. All the lines is stuff you've heard before. We get Bruce says things like, this time he's saving his daughter rather than his wife, because they kind of figure probably, you know, Bonnie Bedelia, it's not eye candy enough, let's get somebody young, that way it'll kind of work out. And he does the thing about, I have repeatedly asked you to call me Dad, which is a line from Armageddon, you will remember. Then we get all the usual stuff that when things go bang very loudly, he does, oh, that's going to wake up the neighbour. And it's like watching sort of hits on 45 of action genre movie cliches. The other thing with it is, I mean, it's not without a certain passing interest, because I quite like Bruce Willis, and he does look good running around in various states of disarray. However, the promotional item for Die Hard 4.0, which in America, incidentally, is called Live Free or Die Hard, but they kind of figured that over here in Europe, we would think that sounded far too sort of post-Iraq flag waving. He never, in the film, actually gets to just wear the vest. There is a promotional vest, which I've got, which says Die Hard 4.0, but he keeps his singlet on, because you know what, he's a bit old, so it's, you know, Die Hard, but wrap up nice and warm, because, you know, get your cardi on, Bruce.
Next time he can try and rescue his granddaughter.
Exactly, and that'll be fine, because he always looks the same age, but you have to, you know, the people he's rescuing have to stay in the sort of, in the bracket for the audience to be interested.
Wimbledon at bbc.co.uk if you want to join in this. The movie conversation will get scattered liberally in the available hours that we have here on the, well, apparently the next 30 minutes, all right, so everything's going to be condensed between now and 4 o'clock. Die Hard, halfway through that. This says Simon and Mark saw Die Hard last night, thought it was good, silly, stupid fun, but it's just a cartoon, really. Every time Willis bounces off a wall, floor, or ventilation shaft, I defy anyone not to think of that scene in The Simpsons when Homer fails to jump the canyon and keeps falling down the cliff. Willis even sounds and looks a lot like Homer, but you're not Simpsons literate, so...
No, I'm not. But it is true that one of the problems with it is, the idea is that John McClane is not a hero, he's an everyman, yeah? And actually, in the press notes, Willis says this, and what I really like about him, he's a kind of relatable kind of guy. We all look at John McClane and we think, yeah, we're like that. He goes, well, no, actually. If you are surfing on the tail fin of a Harrier jump jet, having driven an articulated lorry off an exploding flyover whilst having missiles fired at you by a helicopter, that doesn't make you an ordinary kind of guy, and makes you Bruce Willis in a movie. I mean, the whole point about the original Die Hard is that he was supposed to be a schlubby kind of guy who just happens to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And yes, he's slightly more heroic than one could perhaps imagine in reality. But it's not completely ludicrous. But what they've had to do is, with each new movie, they've had to up the ante. And the action set pieces in this, once you get to the point of, okay, you can leap out of a fiery truck onto the back of a Harrier jump jet, trip down onto the ground, dust yourself off, and then go and beat up the bad guys. You think, well, there is no pain, and I believe this, no pain, no gain. If you don't believe that your hero is getting hurt, then actually you have dramatic disengagement, and that's what I had. I had dramatic disengagement.
Hello to Jason Isaacs, by the way.
And hello to David Morrissey.
He's probably watching the vodcast right at the moment. Go to the website for details. Is it 4.0 or 4.0?
Well, it's Die Hard 4. Whatever you want.
This because Jamie in Reading says, would the good doctor agree that the naught in Die Hard 4.0 refers to the fact that they went ahead and used the very first draft of the screenplay without any revision?
But they didn't. I mean, that's the weird thing. It's about the 23rd. This started life as a different film, which was much more connected to the government's failures in the wake of New Orleans, and then it was turned into a Die Hard movie. So actually it should be Die Hard 4.78. Can I say one last thing, which is the Justin Long character is a computer hacker. At one point there's this whole speech about, oh yeah, man, you can't watch the news, man, because the news is totally manipulated. The stuff you see on the news is totally manipulated. And you're sitting there thinking, this is a Fox movie financed by Fox, in which somebody is actually saying that. But then, of course, he has to eat all his words and realise that it's not true at all, and actually hacking into corporate accounts is really bad, and we're all on the same side.